Mr. Hammill, Singularity is your 34th album, I read?
I stopped counting many, many years ago.
Yeah.
And actually it got complicated many years ago because you have things like compilations and all that sort of thing, so it's the current one anyway.
The current one, yeah. But I was wondering, you've made so much music in your life. Do you still feel the same urge to make music like 30 years ago?
The same but different, obviously. It's I still get really excited about doing it, and it's still a thing that makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah.
Which is why I do it. Thank you. But obviously, every time I write a song, every time I make a record, there's something different.
Yeah.
Because I've not been interested in just doing the same thing over and over again. I've always tried to say something different, to say it in a different way. The joy of finding a different way and of finding something different actually is the excitement, and that's what energizes me. So yeah, it is different.
So that's what still keeps you going after all these years.
Yeah, it's still a fantastic thing, you know. So it's a privilege to do music, and probably the fact is that, you know, even if many years ago I'd not been able to survive doing music as a profession, I almost certainly would have carried on doing it entirely for myself, to make sense of things myself. But happily I have been able to.
Yeah, okay. In 2003 you had a heart attack. How serious was that?
Any heart attack is serious. It was quite a serious one. It was, in the end I didn't have to have an operation, but I was in the extreme cardiac ward for 4 days. Of course, as I'm not exactly an expert on heart attacks, but I didn't know anything about them at all before, apart from the fact that they happened. My particular kind of heart attack, the real danger is in the first 3 or 4 days. And I was in real danger for 3 or 4 days, partly because mainly because I was a smoker. That was the thing. Smoking was the real bad thing for me. I mean, I'm obviously not overweight. My diet was kind of okay, but I smoked and I didn't exercise. And I had very low blood pressure. So they had problems in the first couple of days that my blood pressure was very low, and they couldn't give me certain kinds of medication. And for the first 24 hours, I was really like that. And more to the point, I knew that I was like that.
You were conscious?
I was conscious that I might not even be getting up from the horizontal again, because I couldn't.
You remember how you felt then?
Yeah. Well, kind of. And obviously, you know, having spent all of this time writing songs about, you know, the emotional passage of life for myself and for other people, I couldn't really avoid writing something about this. So 2 of the songs on Singularity are particularly about what that felt like.
Yeah, and one is
Event Horizon. Yeah, Event Horizon is, and that really is, again, obviously I'm not, far from being the world's expert on heart attacks now, and I'm not saying it's like this for everybody, but this is what it felt like for me. I just felt that I was sort of hovering around this kind of black hole, and that if I didn't stay awake and if I didn't concentrate, I was just going to go down into it, and that would be it.
You just lost grip on your own life, control.
Exactly, I lost control. But I knew I'd kind of been told effectively by the paramedics that the thing I had to do was stay awake. It was imperative that I stayed awake, because if I just let go, then I would let go and I'd be gone. And obviously I had to rest when I was resting. It was, you know, rest when you're resting, but then stay awake the rest of the time. So, and I wasn't, obviously I was, you know, had completely morphined up as well, so I was in a very different state. But yeah, it was a very strange experience. Not a completely life-changing experience. You know, I didn't kind of I didn't suddenly get religion again from my youth or anything like that. And there wasn't any absolute revelation there. Apart from, the great thing that, anybody who has any kind of near-death experience, apart from the experience itself, the thing that strikes you is, actually I am mortal. I always suspected that I was going to be the one immortal one, but I am mortal.
And I think it shows on your new album.
I think so.
It's really facing your own mortality.
Yeah, I hope so. But not, I think, in a negative way. I think it's because, the extremity of these moments doesn't last.
Yeah.
And even I have to confess that, I don't feel as mortal as I did then. I still assume that, I will be going home this evening and I'll be sleeping in my own bed tonight. But for a short while after an experience like that, you don't have that feeling. And that obviously is what I was trying to get across in Singularity.
Yeah.